Hi friends, welcome back to the Avocado Toast Budget. If you're new here, my name is Lexa, and today we are going over my top 6 hacks for YNAB. To be perfectly honest with you, not all of these are like secret hacks, but they are things that I don't feel like everyone knows about, and specifically I love to use that are little hacks that you can do inside of your YNAB budget to make it work even better for you. And hopefully this video serves to give you some cool ideas on how you can hack your own YNAB budget to really get the most out of its power for helping you save and pay off debt. My first YNAB hack is emojis. Now this is something that a lot of people already love and use inside of their budget, but I know when I was first starting off with YNAB, I had no idea that you could do this, and it has revolutionized my YNAB budget. I personally add an emoji to every single category inside of my YNAB budget. Now, some of those are just there for the aesthetics, for me to give me a quick little look at what that category is, but some of them serve a real functional purpose. But first, let's go ahead and talk about how you can add emojis inside of your own YNAB budget. This is from my experience using a Mac. I have no idea anything about PCs, so I don't know anything about that, but if you have a Mac, I can show you exactly how to do it. Whenever you go into your YNAB budget, just highlight the category that you want to add an emoji to, click on the name of it, that way it pops up the box that will allow you to edit the name of the category. Go through and right click and it pops up a little box that right at the top of there it says emojis and symbols. Once you click on that, all of the emojis that are available on your iPhone are also available there on your Mac for you to add to your budget. But I don't just use emojis for the aesthetic, I actually use them for a functional purpose as well. And the biggest way that I use emojis in a functional way inside of my budget is to designate when a category has been fully funded. So whenever I have categories like Liz's birthday or holidays, once I finally had all of the money in that category that I needed, I move it down to a fully funded category group, but I also change that emoji that is at the front of the category name, and instead of having that specific emoji for that category, I change it to the green checkmark emoji. This allows me to quickly look at that specific category and know that I am good to go. I have all of the money in there that I need to spend that money whenever it comes time. So that is it for how I use emojis. Let's move on to my second hack, which is location services. And to talk about this, we're actually going to move over from the desktop version of YNAB over to our app version. Using location services is specific to the app. The reason that I love this hack so much is that it encourages you to get into a routine of plugging in your spending as soon as you spend it inside of YNAB. Location services plays a role into this because YNAB remembers where you are at and it will plug in information for you. So for example, if before you go to work every day, you run by the McDonald's and you pick yourself up a Coke, if you get into the habit of plugging that expense in right as it happens while you're sitting in the drive-thru waiting to get through that line, YNAB will start to remember where you're at and what your spending typically looks like, so it will autofill certain information for you, including the account that you use, where you are at, and what category that expense goes into. My YNAB hack number 3 is the monthly note to self. There is nothing special that you have to do to add this feature into YNAB. I just think that it's something that is very underutilized and can be really helpful for you inside of your budget. When you are looking at the budget screen inside of your YNAB budget, right below the date, there is a little thing that says enter note. If you click on that, you can designate monthly notes to yourself. This is a great place to add anything that you need to be reminded of. If you have a subscription you need to cancel this month, if you are working toward a specific goal, if you have some events coming up this month, like someone's birthday or an anniversary that you want to remember to buy something for, or to make sure that you include in your budget, this is a great visual reminder to yourself about different goals and things happening during this month. My fourth YNAB hack is one that I absolutely love, and that is including in your category name the due date and the amount that is owed for that specific expense. Now this works whether it is a savings goal or if it is just like a monthly subscription or annual subscription, and we utilize this a ton, especially especially inside of our joint account budget where we have a lot of recurring monthly subscriptions. If you have goals set up in YNAB, all you have to do is just highlight that specific category, go over to the side and see how much is owed in that category and when. But I would prefer to eliminate that step entirely and just be able to quickly glance at my budget and see when a specific expense is due and how much I need to pay or save for that expense. This is a very helpful hack if you are living paycheck to paycheck, because you want to be able to look at your budget and see what that money needs to do for you and how much money you need to have in order to fund these expenses and those savings goals. If I have a category with a specific due date and I know how much I need either for spending or saving in that goal, I include this in the category name. And I have found it to be extremely helpful and useful. Along those very same lines, my YNAB hack number 5 is to organize your fixed expenses in order of due date. So this is another way that tip number 4 relates to tip number 5, because part of YNAB's whole system is that you want to look at the money that you have in to be budgeted and ask yourself, what does this money need to do for me before I get paid again? And an easy way to visualize this is to have your fixed expenses in order of due date. That way, for example, if today is the 4th of the month and you just got paid and you know you're not getting paid for another 2 weeks until the 18th, you need to be able to look and see what expenses are due the 4th through the 18th to make sure that those are covered and good to go in your budget before you get your next paycheck. Personally, I think that hack number 4 and 5 go hand in hand together. And last but not least, my YNAB hack number 6 are progress bars. So again, this is not exactly like a secret hack or something that is not programmed already inside of YNAB, but this is a relatively new feature inside of YNAB that I love. Progress bars are fantastic for tracking both your progress on your savings goals and also making sure that you pace yourself on your variable spending. One of the most common things I hear from all of you is that you struggle with budgeting when it comes to your variable expenses. It's easy to plan for things like rent or an AT&T bill because you know when it is due and exactly how much is due. But for things like groceries or gas money or eating out, those are never the same. So how do you plan and budget for those? Progress bars are so helpful when it comes to these expenses because they will show you how much of that category you have spent and therefore how much you have left. So if you're someone who has tried to budget for groceries in the past, but then you find yourself halfway through the month with no money left in that category, and then inevitably you end up overspending because you still need to eat, but you haven't quite figured out how to pace yourself in your budget yet, progress bars can be so helpful. So that is it for my top 6 YNAB hacks. I hope that you learned something cool and you're able to incorporate this inside of your own YNAB budget. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to give it a big thumbs up. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm, helps boost this video to the top. That way more people can find this content. And I will see you all next time. Bye.